Everyone, and welcome to the J and K Show. I'm your man, J Rob, in the house, and I got my brother from another mother, K. What's up, K? What's good, brother?
Yo, what's good, man?
You good? You good?
Always, man, you know it.
It's humid today, man.
Yeah, but we've talked about this before. I love this weather. Yeah, I'm here for it. I hate the winters. I'm grumpier.
You're grumpier?
I'm grumpier during the winter months and everything, which is crazy, man, because I'm from the Northeast. I'm a January baby.
Okay.
Everything screams that I should love the winter.
Absolutely.
But I hate it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah, you definitely opposite.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fall baby. I'm September. I like that 78 degree, low 80 degree weather. That's my joint.
I'm closer to that.
Exactly. Indeed. So, we got a lot of exciting news going on this past week. A lot of stuff, which is crazy. And we got to start off the stories today. One of the craziest stories and one of the craziest people in the world.
Who's that?
Come on, bro. You know who I'm talking about. Donald Trump. Donald Trump had the audacity. I know y'all also saw this week. This man had the audacity to attend the NABJ, all right? National Association of Black Journalists, so NABJ, all right? Now, completely crazy because this guy actually went and he was interviewed by a very professional black woman journalist, right? Asking great questions, and he kind of felt like, or he should have known where he was, right? Should have known where he was. So he's actually being asked questions from this black journalist and asking all about the campaign, obviously about his opponent, and who is actually Kamala Harris, obviously. And he actually made one of the craziest statements during this interview that I've probably ever heard. Well, no, he's made some crazy comments, all right? But he actually said that he had no idea that Kamala Harris was black. He said, all of a sudden, she just turned black. He says, I don't know. She just turned black. And you should have heard the audience, right? The audience was, when I saw it, I was laughing myself. People were actually laughing because they can't believe half the words that come out of this man's mouth. I don't know if he even believes the things that come out of his mouth. He's just saying it to say it for shock factor because, I don't know, I think this man's is the biggest comedian in the world to me, right? So I don't know if he's believing what he's saying, but for him to actually make a statement that she turned black is the craziest thing to me. As far as I know, weren't you born black?
I was.
Right. I know I was born black, right? Barack Obama was born black and he was born white. Kamala Harris was born black and she was born Indian, right? Now, unless he's going colorblind, I don't know. Maybe he needs to get his vision checked. I have no clue, right? But for him to make a statement like that, especially in that forum, is beyond me. And it just takes me back to just thinking of all the crazy things that he has said during over the course of the 4 years that he was in the White House and beyond, coming up to now. But it really just makes me wonder, and this is the question I want to ask you, why would his campaign send him to NABJ, right? In a forum, in a room where he has no love. Right? Now, I heard people saying, he stood up and he showed that he's strong and he can do it. But why do you think that they made that decision to have him be a part of this press conference? Why do you think that? And what do you think about these crazy comments that he's made?
Well, I'll start with the why do I think he attended. So an invitation goes out from the NABJ every 4 years when this conference takes place, and they send an invitation out to the presidential candidates. So Trump was doing where he responded to what has traditionally been something that the conference has done. It was Vice President Harris who backed out, stating that there was a scheduling conflict. So if anything, she was the one that broke tradition not Donald J, not the former president. So nothing to see there. I like the idea that he would show up, because this is about not being inside of a echo chamber and only speaking to your constituents. This is also about having an opportunity to persuade voters, right? Maybe some voters that may be on the line who aren't sure which way they're going to vote. Here's an opportunity to do that. So I applaud him for stepping up, because we see far too often where candidates only want to talk to those where they're going to get the cheers, not the jeers. They stay away from that, especially in this climate where everyone has a phone, a video phone. These things live forever on the internet. So every boo, every jeer, every hiss lives on forever. Now, I did not attend the conference. I only saw some clips from it. And I will say I was less than impressed with some of the questions. I'm looking at this and saying, even going back a little bit, and the hubbub about the fact that he was going to attend. And I'm thinking, guys, you're journalists. Act like journalists. Be professionals, right? We often talk about how we criticize media, right, for taking a position as opposed to reporting the facts and reporting stories. Reporters are now columnists. They're putting and injecting their opinions into stories. And they said, no, not me. I'm just reporting the facts. Well, if you're just reporting the facts and telling us the story without it swinging one way or the other, without allowing your personal feelings to get into this, then it shouldn't matter who's there on the stage. Be professional. Be a journalist. Done.
You don't think they were being professional?
I do not think they were being professional. I absolutely do not. Now, maybe someone would argue and say, well, in that conference, that's not what that forum is for. Oh, okay, I guess you take off your
I thought they were very professional.
I didn't think so. I'm looking at this.
But why? Why?
Because I think I would have preferred to have seen more questions in and around, not just his campaign, but more questions about his policy and position. We're talking about a former president, regardless of what anyone may say, the majority of this country voted this man in. He's a former president, and I think that brings about a level of respect that I don't think that this man receives. I mean, I'm just being honest with you.
Okay, so you feel that he deserves respect?
I absolutely think he deserves respect. Okay. Just listen, I'm a bit old-fashioned. You hold that title as president, as former president. It comes with it, and I think that's regardless of what political party you affiliate yourself with. That's where that is. The other part is he survived an assassination, right? Just from a humanistic standpoint, right? Can we allow some grace from that? I think that would have been a great opportunity for Black journalists to really kind of talk more about that experience. How many opportunities are you going to get to have a discussion, a conversation with someone in that role who has become so close to death? What was that like? How does that feel? And listen, and I, for one, not just for the sake of him not being assassinated and all of that could have meant to him and his family, but I'm happy for this country that didn't happen, because the conspiracy theorists would have ran rampant. Who knows what the civil warring would have taken place, where one side would have said, hey, the other side did this, right? Regardless of, I know the shooter was registered this or that, none of that matters.
Well, he was a Republican.
Right, you would not be able to prove to anyone that wasn't done purposely by the other side. So from that standpoint, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Well, you probably
all of that would have been more compelling and more insightful to get more of that, more information in and around that than, asking about, Kamala and her background. Now, to get on Kamala, what I took from Donald Trump was, and this is documented, you can see the footage, when she ran in the north, up in the Northwest, she waved the Indian flag, her Indian heritage, and she stood on that. autonomous from anything that suggested that she was black.
She's always said that
please,
she is black.
No, Jay. She has not always said.
She has. She has said that she is black.
We can pull up the clips and see.
So why
do
I know that her father is a black Jamaican man? Why do I know that?
First, hold on a second.
Okay.
And I'm saying to you, this is not. You.
Well, I'm telling you too because I've heard her say it out of her mouth.
I'm saying to you, if you go back and you can see former campaign speeches,
right?
Even before she became on the national scene, she affiliated herself solely with her.
That is not true. She did not affiliate herself solely.
I do not come on here and lie.
Neither.
Man.
Well, I'm not lying because.
Well, you're telling me that's not. I'm telling you, this is what I saw, and I researched this, and this is where this thing is. This is exactly what this is, and Donald is not the first person to say it. This has come up before. She's been chastised for doing it. Now, mind you,
for doing what specifically?
And I'm going to explain that.
Yeah.
For pandering. Now, mind you, she's not the first to pander, right?
Because Donald is great at
I don't care if it's Mitt Romney who jumped from one side of an issue to another, from Democrat to Republican, from government, like the whole thing, like, or if it was Hillary Clinton, the biggest panderer. She was pandering. Politicians do it all the time.
Okay,
that's fine. I'm not.
Okay.
Listen. If I'm a politician, if I feel like this is a way that I can get votes, I probably would do it myself. But I'm not going to sit here and act like she didn't do it.
But Kamala has never denied her blackness. Ever denied. Have you ever seen in any clip where they've asked her if she's black and she said no, she's not? I mean, have you ever seen that? I've never seen that.
Well, so what I think the point is the fact where you, it's kind of like the old military, being gay in the military, the don't ask, don't tell approach. And I think that kind of sits,
well, let me ask you something.
Sits a little sore.
Why would Kamala have to tell that she's black? We all know that already, except for Donald.
No.
She doesn't have to talk about her being black. We know that.
Well, the fact that, no.
Except for Donald.
No, we don't know that.
Oh, you don't? So you didn't know she was black?
When you...
you did not know she was black?
When looking at Kamala, she has a very ambiguous appearance.
Okay.
Right? She looks, I don't think it's outlandish to say that she appears to be biracial or racially mixed. I can't definitively look at her and say, oh, she's also black. She could be Indian and something else. 100%.
Okay, but clearly you've missed it because she said countless times that she's black.
Listen,
okay? I'm just telling you, I've seen it myself.
I've seen that.
Okay.
I've seen her also say that, right? But
right.
The point of it is where people are talking. I think what he pointed out is not a news story, right? You're in the news business, man. Look it up. And
this is why I'm telling you.
That she's not, that the fact is that she had often used a specific part of her background that was helpful for constituents or at least a group of voters to help her get those votes. And when she was in the Northwest and focused on winning state level elections, it said she never touched on it. It was when she got on a more national stage where she needed black female voters, so she began waving that black flag. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying that it's necessarily wrong, but people aren't wrong for also pointing it out either.
I don't know what they're pointing out.
They're pointing out the fact that
Barack didn't talk about he's a black man or whatever.
The fact that she's like, oh, if I need some black votes, so let me now start yelling that I'm black, I'm a black woman. Oh, if I need to go over here and start saying I'm Indian. And that's where that part was. When it was convenient for her to not, wave the black flag, then she didn't, right? She is not African American, which is another thing where people are bringing up, right? That she claimed to be African American. She is not. She is black. If you want to say that.
Her father is a Jamaican black.
She is not African American, which she has said. And that's a fact, that she has said that she is African American, which is not true. So there's that. So, and I have a problem. Someone's going up there trying to get people's votes. they should be questioned. I'm like, what, you bubble wrapped or something?
He is questioning stuff about, first of all, none of this stuff is important. He always takes it back to this race thing about black. And he said Barack Obama wasn't truly here, wasn't born here, wasn't a citizen, and all that stuff. He's always taking it to, he's playing this race card. And I don't know why, because he wants to stay away from talking about maybe policies or something, or maybe showing that he's not smart enough to be able to get the office or something. I don't know what he's doing, but I just don't think it was very smart. Listen, his campaign pulled him, right? Because his own campaign said it was a disaster. Well, it was a disaster.
Well, right.
And Kamala, right now, she's just sitting back and she's just letting him talk. I don't even think she really needs to do much. If she wins, I don't even know if it's going to be so much that she actually won. I think it might be because Donald might just beat himself.
Well,
listen, we don't know how it's going to be. But the one thing is, if you're going there and you're going into this conference, and there was no need, in my opinion, for him to go there because he already has his base of voters. He has his base of voters. She has hers, right? He wasn't gaining anything from going there because he has his voters. She has his voters. The only thing how this could have affected him is negatively, right? Because you still have, we spoke about this earlier, they've got these undecided voters that are still on the fence. And by him attending this conference, it was probably just pushing, especially the black voters, back over to her side. I don't see how he was going to win over any other undecided voters with this press conference. Well, I mean, I don't see it.
Listen, according to the polling,
she's leading in non-national.
According to the polling, black men are favoring him more so than they have in the past, right? So maybe this was a part of that outreach program, part of outreaching and touching and attending those folks. I will agree with you. I agree with you from the standpoint. I did hear overtures from his campaign, right? Speaking points. The former president went rogue and followed his instincts, which he's said more than once that he thinks his instincts are better than anyone else's. Kind of tough to argue with it. The man, he was president, right? I think we sometimes forget that he, against all odds, was able to secure the presidency.
Because he said he was going to run as Republican and they're the dumbest group of Americans in the world.
Whatever, right?
That's what he said, and they still voted for him. But
right,
okay.
Right. Like, that's your reason, and people.
No, it's not my reason. It's his reason.
Well,
he said that.
Well, you can also say, listen, Hillary never stepped foot in Wisconsin. Like, it's a menagerie of different things. It's just a gumbo pot full of all sorts of reasons. There's no one single reason why someone becomes president. We get it. Okay. Someone could say the comedy email, right? When he released an email about the email about the emails.
Right. That's when things flip, right?
Right. It's a whole bunch of things. Yeah. Who the heck knows? My point is, so to kind of summarize it for me. Yeah. One, I think it was great that he showed up. I love the fact that he kept tradition with the conference, with the NABJ. I love that. Shame on Harris for not being there. I know they said it was some traveling conflict. Listen, you want to be president, you want to be the first black female president, you get your butt to the conference. I don't know what else is going on. You're running for office. Take some time out for your folks. Sit on the stage, get some tough questions. And so for him, I applaud him for that. Because he had to have known he was walking into a hornet's nest, and he did it. So I'm going to give him some credit for that. The other part is, I do believe that Kamala is pandering. However, if I was her, I would do it too. I just want to be clear on that. I do think she is, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. I just think where people try to say, oh, no, she's not. Of course she is. And of course she should, right? Like, this is a zero-sum game. It's a toggle switch, on or off. It's just like the light switch, no dimmer switch. You win or you lose. In any way that you find an advantage, and if that means people will vote for you because they feel like they assimilate to you, less your policies or anything, I'm a black woman, you're a black woman, I'm going to vote for you. Get them however you can. So I don't find anything wrong with that. It's just where some folks are so, they're just this position of don't say that like the woman is bubble wrapped or something. She's running for president. Go on there. Do what you got to do. Let her take those shots. I don't see anything wrong with it. And if she's pandering, pander. Go try to win. Donald's going to try to win.
Well, I don't see him as pandering, and I am happy that he attended NABJ. And I say to him, keep talking, do your thing. And her campaign is happy that he attended as well, too. And there's nothing about, she's always said that she's a black woman. I've heard her say it on more than one occasion. She said she's Indian because why? She's black, and she is Indian. I think it's perfect what they're doing right now. Let Donald keep talking. If he, for some reason, loses this election, again, it's not because she won. It's because he beat himself, right? All he needs to do is, he had a great Republican National Convention, right? He was the worst thing in that convention, right? They was running that ship smooth. It was very successful until he took the stage and messed everything up, right? And then as soon as now that Biden dropped out, she's in there now. You saw the resurgence going on. Everything is going better for them right now. And now he is making this a race because of the craziness that comes out of his mouth. He is making this a race, right? And it is what it is. So listen, I guess we will see. We don't know what's going to happen, but she's a black woman. She is an Indian woman as well. And she has said that. And he's the only one didn't know. Even you knew. Even you knew. All right.